Alright, today we are going to digitize our notes. Let's see how this goes. First, set up your notebook. We should be on page 14 and 15. So if you'll put 14, and over here in the bottom right, put 15. Up here, put the date. And do your ready, set, go, do. Ready, set, go, do. Alright, now as we do the notes today, if you ever need to pause or if you need more time, you need to pause the video and catch up and then keep going. Alright, let's look at our notes for today. We're going to be working on set, and the title of our notes is going to be Adding and Subtracting Integers. Adding and subtracting integers. Now let's go ahead and define integers one more time because we've already done it. But let's just make sure we all know what it is. An integer is a positive or negative whole number. The numbers that you plot on the left side, these are integers. Okay? Now when you add and subtract these, sometimes things get a little different than what we're used to. We're going to talk about addition first. Addition. Let's talk about if the signs are the same, because this one's easiest. Same signs. Alright, if you have the same signs, the first thing you do is add the numbers, regardless of sign. Add the numbers. So if I have negative 3 plus negative 21, it doesn't matter that my signs are different. I'm going to add the numbers. So I'm going to add 3 and 21, and that gives me 24. My next step, step 2, keep the same sign. Same sign. So these are both negatives. So mine's going to also be a negative. And that's it. Alright, when we have same signs, again, still working with same signs, if we have same signs like negative 3 plus negative 5, what it's saying is you have 3 negatives, 1, 2, 3, and you want to add 5 negatives to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all together you have 5, 6, 7, 8 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 negatives all together. Same thing with positives. If we had 5 positives, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 3 positives, 1, 2, 3, then we have 8 positives all together. When the signs are the same, you're just tallying up all of your negatives or positives. So we've got different signs now. If you have different signs, this is where things get a little bit tricky. The first thing you're going to do is determine if there are different signs. So let's say I have 21 plus negative 40. Okay, the signs are different because we have a negative here and a positive here. It doesn't say positive, but we know it's a positive. When the signs are different, you're going to subtract. I know that may seem weird, but we're going to talk about that. You're going to subtract. So I have 40 minus 21, and that's going to give me 19. Okay. Then what I do is I'm going to need to determine what's the biggest number, because I want to keep the sign of the bigger number. Keep the sign of the bigger number. I have 21 and I have 40. 40 is my bigger number, so I'm going to keep this negative. And that's it. So my answer here is negative 19. This is a negative 19. Okay? Alright, when we deal with different signs, what gets confusing is the sign isn't always consistent. You can have a positive plus a negative and get a negative. You can have a negative plus a positive and get a positive. It depends on the bigger number. It's like you have two teams. One team has -5 and the other team has 3. Well, there are 5 negatives against 3 positives, and they're going to fight. That's how I always put it. It makes the most sense to everybody. This guy is going to take out that guy, and this is called a zero pair. Because if you get $1 and you lose $1, you still have $0. This guy is going to take out that guy, and this guy is going to take out that guy. These guys are all dead now. They're gone. They're no longer in the fight. So that leaves me 2 negative guys left standing. I got that from saying 5 minus 3, because I subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. And I got the negative sign because my bigger number had a negative. The bigger team wins. If that helps you remember it. The bigger team wins. Always. Last thing we have to talk about is subtracting. When you subtract, there's only one extra step, and it's right at the beginning. Step 1, change all subtraction to addition. For example, if I have 5 minus 13, I'm going to change this to addition. That's step 1. Step 2 is change the sign of the next number. So now I have 5 plus negative 13. And the very last thing you need to know, I'm going to scoot my paper down. The very, very last thing is to follow addition rules. From above. At the very top. So for example, this one I have a positive plus a negative, so my signs are different. So I'm going to subtract 13 minus 5, which is 8. Then I'm going to keep the sign of my bigger number from right here. 13 is my bigger number, and that's a negative, so it's negative 8. So the only extra step are these first two. So I guess it's 2 extra steps, but they're both easy.